A lot of people don't know, I'm sure, of our listeners, your whole story, but it started a few years ago where you trained your pug to do the Hitler salute as a joke. Can you walk us? I imagine there's hours you can go into, but can you give us a version of that?
I'll try and give like the short postage stamp version, but it's like my girlfriend. It was my girlfriend's pug. She's my wife now, but my girlfriend at the time was always going on about how cute he was.
Take as much time as you need. Sorry to interject. If you want to lay out as much as you want, it's a long show and it's a funny story.
Oh, no, that's cool. And well, basically, she would even like shove the pug in my face, going, "Look at his little face. Look how cute he is." And I'm like, "Fuck off!" Like, I'm a fucking dog and everything. And one day, I was like giving him a treat, and he lifted his paw because he gives you a paw whenever he does it. And I went, that kind of looks like a little salute. And then a light bulb appeared above my head, and I just thought, do you know it'd be really fucking funny? Man, so yeah, the little cute lovely animal, and then 6 million, you know.
Oh.
It's like that, and I thought that's hilarious. That'll upset her to no end. But the problem is he didn't do it all the time. He wasn't fully properly trained. There was sometimes he did it, sometimes he didn't do it, and I didn't want to take the dog in front of my girlfriend and then try and get him do it, and he doesn't do it, and it's like days of work just completely ruined, right? So I decided to film all the times he actually did do it, and then I made it into a video. I uploaded it on YouTube with like no intention of it going anywhere. I even gave it like a stupid title. I only had 8 subscribers. They're all friends of mine. They were all people I knew. So I thought, there's no chance anyone's going to find this. But then ended up the plan was me and my girlfriend would like have little YouTube nights. We would put YouTube on the TV in the living room, and then we would watch videos, and I was going to totally blindside her by going, I know this really funny video, just you sit there. I'll put it on, and then I was going to get my phone out and like film a reaction. But before we even get a chance to do that, I went to FanFest in Iceland, which is like Eve Online, the online space spreadsheets game. I was very, very into that game back then. So I went to Iceland, and while I was on the plane going to Iceland, someone found the video somehow, still don't know how, and then they posted it to Reddit, and it made it to the front page of Reddit. Right? I didn't know. So I've landed in a foreign country, so my phone is not got signal. I'm not getting texts or anything, no notifications. I'm going around Reykjavik. I'm meeting up with my friends over there. We went to the pub. I got absolutely drunk like that, and then I like stumbled back to my hotel room, not realizing that back home my fucking life is being burned down. I'm running around trying to speak Icelandic and shit, man. Like, not realizing that like hundreds of reporters are calling like my grandmother and shit like that, man. Right? While I'm running around going hurdy-gurdy, running around fucking Iceland, right? But then I get back to the hotel room. I pass out for a few hours. I wake up feeling like shit. I've like go to check my phone, and I'm like, oh fuck! Oh wait, the hotel Wi-Fi connected to the hotel Wi-Fi, and my phone just blew the fuck up, man. It's like you have like shit tons of YouTube messages. You have 38 voicemails and like all that shit, man, right? And then like while I was just scrolling through them, I only scrolled through them for like 10 seconds, and then my girlfriend called me, and I says, "What the fuck's going on? What's happened?" And then she said, "Why are there reporters at the door?" And I just went, I don't fucking know. Is it the video? And then, I found out that the video went viral. And
oh, no. This poor dog ruined your life.
Fuck him. Yeah, fuck him, man. He get nothing.
I hope you just beat the shit out of him every day after this.
I do. It's hard not to. There's a reason his face looks like that, you know.
It's still long nose. That's not a pug.
But ended up like... I just had fun in Iceland. I just thought, fuck it, it's done now. While I was actually, Hilmar Weigar is like the CEO of he stepped down, but he was the CEO of CCP Games, and it was in the middle of his like keynote speech, the big speech for like EVE Online FanFest, and I basically get an email from my job going, "Yeah, you're fucking fired." So I was like, so like he's giving his big speech, and I'm turning around to all my friends going, "I just got fired." Not man, and I'm letting them all like read the email. So I just thought, fuck it. Kept partying in Iceland, and they're all making jokes going, "They're going to arrest you when you go back home," and I'm like, no, they won't. Because it was one of those like, if only you knew how bad things really were. But I ended up came home, got off the plane, came home to like reporters hanging around outside my house. They're taking pictures of me and trying to talk to me as I'm going into the house. I then ended up speaking to the local youths, shall we say, and told them if they see any journalists in the street to ask them very nicely to leave.
Did you hire thugs to run off the reporters?
No, I don't hire them. It's just it's basically
they work for free.
Yes, they do. In Scotland,
the love of the game.
Each area, each housing estate or project or whatever you want to call it in America, has its own street gang known as the Young Team, right? And basically, they have this whole thing where they don't like you if you're not from there. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah,
I'm familiar with that.
They're not from here. So ask them nicely to leave. And so for a few days there was no reporters, no journalists, no nothing, right? But then ended up we get a knock at the door, and I've just had 3 bongs when we get this knock at the door, and then I open it and it's the CID, like a criminal investigation department.
Oh, you were looking your best that day.
And those were the 2 people that came at the door. Yeah, that's me. That's me being arrested. I look like a fucking hobo, man. And that was the thing that was in the papers. It's like no one even knows the crime, but everyone's looking at that picture just going, he deserves it. He deserves it. Fucking look at him.
You look like that's the first time you've seen light in your day. Yeah. You look like a newborn kitten.
Well, I was recently unemployed, but
like you just like they're taking you out of like a prisoner of war camp. What had you been up to in the weeks prior to this? Because you look good today.
Nothing. I got fired. I got fired. I was sitting in the house smoking weed and doing nothing.
All right. So, I can get on board with that.
Yeah, hence the like unkempt beard and fucking just shit hair and everything. And also I'm high as fuck. That's why my eyes look like tiny vaginas. It's quite bad. But it ended up like there was no reporters in the street. But as you can see from that picture, suddenly there was reporters in the street.
Yeah.
And my neighbors told me that they arrived with the cops.
Yeah, of course.
They came like with the police. Now
they knew about your gang.
yeah, that was it. But the thing is, whenever the police communicate with the press, they're not allowed to tell the press shit like that. Oh, this is the date and time we're going to arrest this
someone
guy,
slipped him $100.
Yeah. No, well, yeah. What happened was basically the cops broke the law. They're supposed to have a record of every communication they make with journalists. There's no records. Like my lawyer tried to get it, and they were like, "No such thing exists." And it's like, "Oh well, guess the journalists are fucking psychic then," But so yeah, and I got arrested, and because of the nature of the crime, so it was a hate crime. I got ridiculous. Sometimes you get taken down to the station, they book you and go, "All right, fuck off. You'll get your court date in the mail." Right, but I got kept in because mine was classed as a very serious offence. So I'm sitting in cell, and I'm just like, all right, okay, I guess I'm having a fucking sleepover in jail tonight. And then, like in the middle of the night, I can hear just screaming coming down the hall, just screaming, right? And then I look out through the little porthole, and basically the cops have got this guy in like the Superman carry, how where they've got him in a full body harness and they're just carrying him like a big plank of wood down the hall. They throw him in the room, and I can hear them like kneeling on his back to undo the restraints, and then they just back out the room and slam the door. And this guy's screaming the fucking place down, punching walls, kicking the door. This is at like 3-4 in the morning when I'm trying to sleep. And I'm sitting punching the wall and shouting back, going, "Shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up," like screaming at him. And he's shouting shit out, going, "I've ruined my life, and everything." And then,
oh no,
I know.
Me too. Let's sleep on it.
That was interesting, but ended up like the next morning we're getting like taken out to go at the courthouse, so we're all getting like shackled up and everything to get loaded onto the vans. And the porter, who's the guy that looks after the prisoners, he was very nice. He was a nice guy, and I said to him, going, "Who was that absolute roaster that you put into the cell next to me last night, man? He kept me awake all night." And the guy just goes, "Oh yeah, he murdered his friend."
Oh,
wait, what did he do to his friend?
Murdered his friend.
Murdered. Yeah, killed him. And I was like, okay, I understand why he's upset, but
yeah,
man.
All right,
he did ruin
ruin
his own life, but what about his friend's life? Just pretty much over.
Well, he's a murderer. They're
more or
notoriously
less.
selfish.
Never mind that. What about my sleep? Fuck them. I can't sleep.
That is
The friend's
issue
gone.
here.
You're never getting that sleep back, though.
Exactly.
I mean, so
Facts.
what was the job that fired you instantly upon learning that you'd taught your dog a salute?
It was two. One wasn't really a firing. Like, one of them was just a call center. Like, it was like repairing. See how the little PDAs use whenever you make a card transaction? It was like repairing them. So you had people calling you that couldn't speak English, and you were having to guide them through a complicated process of like how to reset their PIN machine and everything. So that was a fucking nightmare. And the other one was security, and that wasn't so much a firing. I just never got shifts. I think they just kind of went, if we ignore him, he'll go away.
Yep.
And everyone was kind of like, but I work for you. Like,
yeah, you do. And as soon as we can pencil you in.
Just, I think I said, am I not getting any shifts this week? And I never got a text back. And I was kind of like, and it's not like a security boss to turn down someone that wants to do shifts. So I kind of just went, all right, okay, that's that then. But like, ended up as I was getting like taken out the cell, I'm getting handcuffed up and everything. As I'm getting loaded into the van's got like lots of little pods in it for like each prisoner. As I'm walking by one of the windows, I see a friend of mine like that. But he's one of these friends where you only get to ever hang out with him for about 2 or 3 months at a time. Because then he's back in for like a while. So ended up, I was like, "Oh fuck, how you doing? Fancy meeting you here." Like type of thing. And we were sitting there, and we're like shouting through the little boxes at each other, like to try and talk to each other. And he sort of says, "Allegedly, I opened someone's face up with a meat cleaver." He basically slashed someone down the face, which is a very common thing in Scotland, extremely common. But
Yeah.
So you're in prison. You found out your new neighbor is a murderer.
Yes.
What happens next?
Well, I got taken to court the next day, and then that's when you just get put in like the big communal room with like all the other prisoners and stuff like that. And while we're sitting there chatting, it ends up getting onto the what you in for? Like fucking thing, right? And I'm like, I knew it was coming. And I'm like, all right, here we go. Here we go. But one guy got caught with like 200 Valium pills. One guy got caught growing weed in his house. One guy was just like violated his parole conditions, blah, blah, blah. But then it gets to my friend who goes, allegedly, I opened someone's face with a meat cleaver. And then it gets to me. And I just start laughing. And I'm like, well, I made a meme of my girlfriend's pug Nazi saluting for a joke, and like 3 of the guys in there went, "That was you! I thought I knew your face." And I'm like, yeah, that was me. But then my friend like leans over and whispers to me, going, "See, when you go in, don't tell people that because you will get battered." Man, they were like, people, see, because it's not violent and it's something dumb that I'm in for. Like people would just kick the shit out of me. And but
sucks. But so it's not because they're anti-Nazi; it's because they're anti-pussy crimes.
Oh no, I can assure you that some certain parts of Scottish prisons are very pro-Nazi. Yeah,
seems to be a common prison thing.
Yeah, it is
everywhere.
But there was a guy like sitting on the floor, and he looked about like 18, 19 or something like that, and like he's sitting sort of cuddled up. This is obviously a whole new experience for him. I've been arrested before like a bunch of times. It's always just been for fighting. I was outside a bar, I said something or someone said something, we threw punches, the police came, like basic stuff, nothing bad, like split head, bust nose, bust lip, like basic shit like that. Those are the ones where you don't even get charged. They just keep you until you sober up, and then the next morning open the doors and go, right, fuck off. Because in Scotland there is not enough time on earth to prosecute all of the fights. There's just
the drunken fights.
the drunken fights. Yeah, there's not enough time. Basically,
isn't any other kind.
No, the police will even pressure both guys like, don't press charges. The other guy's not pressing charges. They'll even lie and say the other guy's not pressing charges.
Cool people don't press charges.
Yeah.
What's your plan?
They just want you to leave. They just want you to get out. But this guy was sitting there, and we were and he turned around and says, see if it's your first offence, Like what happens? And then all these other like, you know, seasoned criminals were going, if it's your first offense, you'll get admonished. Admonished basically means the judge just chews you the fuck out. And he might give you a warning, basically saying, if you appear in front of me again, blah, 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 and all that. But then no charges, no nothing. It still gets marked on your little record, but you don't have a criminal record. And then that's when someone went, oh, well, it depends. What did you do? And then he turns around and says, I got caught with 1 kilo of cocaine. And fucking the whole room just erupted in laughter. And I felt so bad because even I was doing it. The whole room was looking at this kid going, no, you're fucked. You're absolutely fucked. You're getting at least 5. At least 5. And you just saw the colour just drain from his face as he was cross-legged on the floor, just staring at the ground. And then everyone sort of realised that we've just told this guy his life's over or some shit. And then people start going, oh, well, maybe not. If you've got a good lawyer, you know.
You never know, though. Like, guys, you know, maybe a judge, a drunk barrister, who knows?
But I never checked up on him. I never got his name. But yeah, he for 1 kilo of cocaine, yeah, he got time.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Dude, that was so scary because, like, we've all watched television. We've all watched movies. And that's as close as 99.9% of us ever come to the real deal legal system. And maybe you see some like medieval movie where they're like, all right, well, off with his head, just easy peasy. You're like, we're a lot more careful these days with people's lives and even the times of their lives. We consider that before we just, 30 years. You're like, wait, what? Mr. Myers, you're next. Wait, what? like when I watched him specifically, I've told the story a bunch of times, but when I watched that judge put that drug trafficker away for like a quarter century or more, whatever it was, I was like, oh my God, this is the real courtroom. Yeah. You know, all the courtrooms I've ever been in up until today were like, there were some traffic charges present. No one in the courtroom with me there today was thinking about what they were going to do that afternoon. You know what I mean? Like, everybody there was laser focused on the proceedings. You go to traffic court, there's people fucking around back there. They're not dressed appropriately. They're being silly. The judge might even have to, hey, calm it down. Dude, it was a fucking funeral in there. Everybody was so afraid that you might like be the one that judge like, are you disrupting my courtroom? Who are you here to see anyway? No. Tell him it's the Mexican, Dad. Here that Mexican fella. Well, go. Yeah. It's fucking scary. It's not that. It's not that at all.
Judge Ryder.
I mean,
he's brilliant.
So what was the fallout after that? You know, at that point, after they released you, were you under the impression that it was going to fade away?
No, I got released. But one of the things that was funny is I didn't have a lawyer at this point, because I did have a lawyer years ago when I was younger and fighting all the time, but he was like in his 90s, so I didn't even try and look him up. I just thought he's dead. Like, he's fucking dead. But they went, okay, well, you've got a like state appointed lawyer, and I went in and I sat down in front of the glass, right? And I shit you not, he did this to me because one of the funniest things that is fucking pranked during this whole trial, I sat across from him and he was writing and he just done that, like put his finger up so that he could keep writing.
Your camera had stuck. What did he do?
He done like that, as if
okay,
and just kept writing. So I just sat there in silence for about like 20, 30 seconds while he finished his notes, and then he slowly looks up at me and goes, "Shalom." And I actually jumped and froze and went, "Oh my God!" And he went, "I'm not Jewish." And went, "It's okay." And I was kind of like, "Well, lawyer, but ended up, I spoke to him and we exchanged contact details. I get sent back to the cell, and there's this word, I forget what it is, where basically the judge will look through his itinerary for the day, and if there's anything that's dumb on it, the judge will just say, release them and just give them their date. Just let them out of the cell and give them their date, because the judge wants to be away for 5, golf and all that. So it ends up, the guy just comes in and says, I forget the phrase, but he just went, something granted. He went, off you go. And then I was like, oh, well, bye guys, to like guys that are about to get like 15, 20 and all that stuff. And I'm like, bye-bye, like that. So I left. And then it ended up I get given my court date, and the trial ended up lasting for about 2 years, and it was about 8 or 9 dates during like the whole trial. That's me waving outside court, waving.
Can I give you a tip here? Low wave down here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Take Kyle's advice. This is wrong. You're looking for something a little lower.
Thank God your fingers are apart in that photo.
Oh, yeah.
Always like this.
Always like this.
Wrist active. Get that wrist active.
Yeah. The Nazis very stoic wrists. You got to work on those and stuff like that.
Oh no, the newspapers were very happy when I did that because I was like, no, I was waving and everything, but there was footage of me like doing that with my hand as I came out and everything. But my wife thought I'd done a Nazi salute for a joke and all that. But ended up what happened. It was like 8-9 times I was in court, and I was in there for two years, 2-year trial, so twice as long as Nuremberg. But it ended up every time I ended up obviously after I got arrested, whenever I got a big boost in subs and people started watching my channel and stuff like that. And while I'm going to court, every time I went to court, I would be back in the papers again. My family would be getting harassed. You know, they would be turning up at my door, all manners of stuff and everything. And I had nothing. I could not get jobs. Could not get a job anywhere, like even in security and stuff like that. Like I would go to a place and in the interview they would go, "Hey, aren't you that?" Yeah, and then I wouldn't get hired. Some places I tried to be honest with them and went, "Yeah, just so you know, there may be a little bit of press interest, some media concern about me working here in your pawn shop." And then they were kind of like, "Oh, you're that guy? Nah, fuck that." Like, no, you're not working.
Actually, I got some old uniforms you might want to take a look at before you leave.
Some fucking places was like I just lied. I just went, "Oh yeah, I'm this guy and would like a job," and I got recognized by a customer on my first fucking day. And then like the manager got called in because some little rat bitch in the staff like told on me. The manager came in and I was fired on my first day. Never get paid.
Let me ask you this: like, these are all the bad things. These are people who think you are a Nazi, I guess, and they're like, we're not gonna have him. We're not gonna have him here. We're gonna even let him work somewhere. Did you have any actual Nazis who were like, "Hey man, I got a job for you. Come on over here to the golf course." Like nothing like that.
Never had anything like that.
Shit.
No, never.
That's
never
how you know they're completely out of power over there. Because if there was still